We got a bunch of different pop culture news today. The biggest, I think, is this stuff about The Matrix, which is coming out very soon. And coincidentally, I was just rewatching the original Matrix when all this news dropped, and I liked it because I'm not what you'd call like a deep into the lore for The Matrix. I'm kind of just a regular. I love the first one. It's extremely iconic, but I'm not a huge fan of like the second and third ones never really came off well to me. But I love that first movie, so I am excited about this either way. And both of these articles here, which I've got, one is kind of more positive, and the other one is a little bit more hesitant about stuff. And there's two trailers. There was one that was like the full trailer that I had you watch right at the end, which is like a 2-minute and 45-second trailer giving a bunch of new details. And then there's also a trailer about deja vu, and that was the one we talked about initially, where she talks about deja vu is something in the Matrix. It means something's changing, right? And they show those shots of various, it's from the old movie, like the shot where his mouth is covered.
Basically, it was like glitches.
Yeah, that's what a glitch in the Matrix. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, I knew I couldn't. I wasn't thinking of the term. And this article is from Bounding Into Comics. It's from Slade Hale, which is not a writer that I've heard from before there. So that's always cool when it's.
Also, they have a really cool name.
Slade Hale is a very cool.
It sounds like a comic book hero.
Slade Wilson, Deathstroke.
Oh yeah.
There you go, Slade Wilson. Maybe that's what you thought of it. You buried it in your brain a little bit there. You weren't.
A lot of things are buried in this dear old brain.
It's okay. It's okay.
But also, I didn't realize that The Matrix is coming on a numerical day, which is like December 12th.
12/12/21.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I looked at the poster, and I'm like,
Yep.
Interesting.
I'm kind of bummed that they're releasing it day and date. Like, we haven't even started the article yet, but that was the first thing I thought. It was like, this movie, I think the projected income or the projected first opening weekend is like 50 million. But for a franchise with as much like history,
actually, correction, is coming out the 22nd. My bad.
You said the 22nd.
No, I said 12, and then you said 12/12.
Yeah, you had me excited.
Oh,
I
screwed up. Okay, 12/22/21.
Yeah.
Okay.
We both screwed up because I almost said it and then you went with it.
Yeah. I screwed up. I was like 12/12/21. I was like 12/22 doesn't sound like a number thing. Just sounds like a date. But maybe I was wrong. I'm not a numbers guy. But for how influential the movie was, a $50 million opening weekend is pretty. I mean, put it this way, Miracle wasn't even born yet when the first movie came out.
It came out when I was born.
No.
Kind of.
No. Like right before you were born.
Like how much?
You were born. Oh no. Okay, so it came out in '99. So
I was
okay,
born.
You were still like in a diaper. So that's a thing. Like, that movie's that old, but it's extremely influential, which is exciting to me. But they're releasing it on HBO Max too. Like, they're not doing it theater only. You like that?
I kind of like it because they did that with like other movies, like for example Shang-Chi. Like when it first came out, it was only in theaters, but now they did it on Disney Plus, which like people who are still scared to go out in public, they can watch it. So I really appreciate it for the people who are agoraphobic.
Yeah, but what it is like, it makes it harder to make sequels for movies if the box office doesn't score well, right? Like,
true.
They don't have to be honest about what those streaming numbers are. They can make up any number they want. So, but let's get into the first article, because there was some concern raised. This one was from Bounding Into Comics, Slade Hale, and it says, the second official trailer for the upcoming The Matrix Resurrections is here, and the filmmakers have made it abundantly clear that change is a central theme. The trailer starts out with Neo staring at a black cat while Trinity can be heard uttering the line, "A deja vu is usually a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something," from the original 1999 film. What exactly that entails, however, remains to be seen.
Aww.
It says, throughout the 1 minute and 1 second runtime, Trinity's voice can be heard repeating the line in the background while the word change appears at the 31-second mark. I love how detailed they went into like...
That's true.
Into this. So it says, this should concern anyone who has spent even a minor amount of time paying attention to the culture shift in Hollywood over the last several years, particularly when it comes to social justice messaging. It says, could it be that Lana Wachowski has decided to infuse this latest iteration of The Matrix with woke politics? It could stand to reason, given how many beloved franchises have been hijacked by far-left political activists seeking to undo everything that came before. I don't know. I did notice, however, that in the second trailer, they kind of made Trinity the main theme, meaning that he has a line where he says, "She believed in me, now it's my turn to believe in her." And it felt like Neo was becoming a secondary character in his own movie.
Well, like, I like the whole theme where they're saying it's going to be change. And then I searched up the meaning behind the release date. So if you're religious or like numerology, the meaning behind 1222, it actually means a new start and a new phase.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there is meaning behind it.
Okay.
Isn't that the winter equinox?
Yeah.
Wow,
Winter
okay.
solstice, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Solstice.
so basically I just searched it up. So basically there is meaning behind it. I was like, there has to be a meaning behind it.
Yeah, after 3 days from the solstice, the sun rises.
And
Yeah.
and that's Christmas.
Quote from this one website. They said the website's called willowsoul.com, and they said basically the universe is urging you to have faith as you take a next step towards a positive change.
Okay.
So basically this might be a positive change, how like the article says.
Okay. Well, I think the article is being fairly critical of the where they're taking it, or at least hesitant of where they're taking it. And I can see where that comes from with all of the changes that have been made to franchises in a lot of these industries. Main characters. There was a thing in a picture that was taken at the Lucasfilm Story Group when they were brainstorming stuff for new Star Wars.
Yeah.
And one of the things on one of the whiteboards said no singular main characters, meaning they want all ensemble casts. They're kind of going the way of getting rid of like a traditional one person's hero arc in movies. And so what they're doing here is they're making it about Carrie-Anne Moss. There could be feminist messaging in there.
Yeah.
I don't know, without having seen the movie, that's not for me to say. And it's definitely something to watch out for, because a lot of times when it's done, it's ham-fisted and poorly crafted, right?
Yeah.
So just because it does that does not necessarily mean it's always going to be bad. But in this case, I tend to like lean on the side of I don't trust it when that happens. I tend to think things are going to go wrong.
Yeah.
But I am probably more not hesitant. I am more excited about this than a lot of movies making changes like that.
Yeah, but I thought that was a weird coincidence. I'm like, maybe they actually did their research on this.
No, the Wachowskis are well, it's not. It's just Lana Wachowski in this one, not the other sister. But they've put a lot of work into building out that franchise's history and everything with the lore. So I don't doubt that was probably planned. Does it list what day of the week that is?
Let me check on our
If it's like a
calendar.
Wednesday, then it could definitely just be a coincidence. Like if it's
It is a Wednesday.
Okay, it could be a coincidence. I mean, they do a lot of bigger movies with, Wednesday night releases, but I don't know for sure about that, so I'm not necessarily going to say. But it would be cool if it was planned and that was something they actually were looking to do.
Because legit, I searched up numerology meaning between 12, 22, 21, and that's the first thing that popped up.
I know that they talked about numerology a lot and symbolism in the book that The Matrix, that inspired the Matrix, the book about simulation theory. So it's not hard to believe that she actually meant to do that. So that's very cool.
It could be.
So the one we were talking about was just the short trailer, right? There's also another trailer came out, and that came out just like a couple hours ago, and that's a full length 2-minute and I think 50-second trailer, and it says this article is from CBR and it's written by Narayan Liu. And it says, Warner Brothers recently dropped the exciting final trailer for The Matrix Resurrections. The trailer sees Neo and Trinity once again, this time continuing their apparently lost romance established at the end of The Matrix. The clip also teases all-out war and yet another important decision placed in Neo's path, one far more crucial than choosing between the blue pill or the red. Lana Wachowski wrote and directed The Matrix with her sister Lily, who is not involved in the upcoming project. The Matrix premiered in 1999 and had a long-lasting impact on the sci-fi and action genre. I think that's an understatement, to be honest. The iconic film spawned 2 sequels, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, which were both released in 2003 and seemingly concluded Neo's story. Previous trailers for The Matrix Resurrections hint that the new film, set 20 years after Revolutions, will see Neo return to his life as Thomas A. Anderson until a young Morpheus pulls him back in. I am kind of bummed about that. Young Morpheus means no Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
I don't know. They said that he commented about it openly and said he just wasn't invited back. I don't know if it's just because they think he might be too old, because there's a lot of action stuff in there and he might not be. Keanu Reeves keeps himself in like fantastic shape for a guy, and he's in his 50s, and I believe Lawrence Fishburne is still older than than Keanu Reeves.
That's
so that those scenes might have been very hard to do. And there's also a lot in that trailer. Again, now I am not 110%, I'm not a huge Matrix guru, but I do know that the blue tint and the green tint so the blue tint was the tint of the real world, the green tint was the tint of the Matrix, and then stuff that was supposed to be neither the Matrix nor the real world were tinted with yellow.
Yeah, I didn't like that coloring.
And there's a lot of blue and yellow tint in the new trailers, so I don't know if that's connected or not. Like I said, I'm not super informed on it, but it seems like if they're making decisions that are super in depth as to like characters, if they're choosing dates that have symbolism, obviously the color palette, which is a main, an important part about making any film, right? There's no way that was done by accident, so I have to believe that was on purpose.
Didn't they say, like, wasn't there theories going around the reason why the sky is more yellow/blue? It's because like Neo is like basically rewriting everything to it's like a new reality. That's why like the whole theme is about change.
I read a lot of those, at least in the comment section. Like that'll be interesting. Like I said, I don't doubt that Lana Wachowski can write a good fourth Matrix movie. I just tend to be very pessimistic about anything that gets resurrected 20 years later when these studios see cash grab, and the fact that they're releasing it on HBO Max at the same time doesn't instill a ton of confidence in me, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
You don't know. Maybe it might be actually good. What's your opinion, Chris?
I think one of the main things I go off of is like Keanu Reeves as an actor. Would he take a bad role?
Yeah.
Would he revive Matrix if he read the script and it sucked?
I think he's a nice enough guy that if they asked him to come back, he'd do it.
Or is he broke enough? Like, has he been out of...
Well, he was a part of the SpongeBob movie, like the one where they're out of the water, and then that one Ali Wong movie. What is it called? You like it. I hated it.
I don't know.
It's the one with Randall Park where they end up falling in love together.
He has a history of being like very like hit or miss with a lot of his roles, right? Like me and one of the people who's here, Sarah, we're talking about a movie called Knock Knock, which could be the worst movie of all time, from what I've heard. It's this horrible movie, and I can see him like if he knows a director or he knows like a cinematographer and they offer him a role, he's just such a nice guy. I mean, that's what he's famous for, right? Keanu Reeves is literally famous for being a nice guy. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. Who cares? It's fine.
Well, like, I don't know, maybe, but I feel like this might be actually good.
I'm cautiously optimistic about this one, more so than I would be for most films coming back after 20 years having not been in production. So
I also didn't like the sequels. I liked number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 and 3 were...
I've only seen 2 and 3
Well,
once.
isn't it because like the second and third one is written by a whole different writing team?
No. I believe they were all written by the Wachowskis, but they were filmed concurrently. So they filmed...
No, 2 and 3 were filmed, yeah.
Yeah, were filmed at the same time.
1 was a hit,
Yeah.
or it wasn't a hit in the theaters. It was a hit after people heard of it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like they were like, oh, let's do sequels then.
All I
So it
remember...
was kind of like a cash grab.
Yeah, all I remember about them is 1 felt genuinely intelligent, and 2 and 3 felt really, really forced and pseudo-intellectual. Those are the only memories I have about 2 and 3. So
it's kind of like Stranger Things.
But 1 was so good that I am willing to watch this one.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally watching it today when all this news came out. I was like, oh my god, it's that scenery, man. It's how dark all of the shots are. We were watching Blade the other day. Everything from the late 90s was freaking awesome. Like I'm excited. So, and you really can't deny the cultural impact that this movie had. One story I was going to tell before we move on. Growing up skating, something you do in skating, whether you ride for companies or you're just making videos with your friends, is you make when you make skate videos. So you do your tricks and everything. You film tricks over a period of time, and then you cut them together and you make videos out of it, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole generation of people that grew up skating where if you listen to The Matrix, all the songs in there were in like every skate video from like 2000.
I watched a couple of your skate videos and I think it's adorable. There's one where you fell and like they asked you, are you okay? And you're like, I'm fine. And it's so adorable. Like Sarah and I were watching it and we were like, oh.
Nothing where somebody tries a trick for like 2.5 hours that could literally paralyze them if they miss should ever be described as adorable.
I think it's so
tell me it's cool.
Cool. At the very least, can we just cut her mic and kick her out? We're kicking Miracle out for the rest of the day. You're done. You are done. So,
oh no.
Are you more excited about this than you were about any of the other movies? What else were you excited about coming out this year? Were you excited about Shang-Chi? I don't remember if you were.
No, I wasn't.
Okay. I'm probably more excited about this than I was about any of the Marvel movies, but that's because I have less of a connection to the characters. But it feels like it could go in a good direction.
Well, the reason why I wasn't excited for Shang-Chi because like years ago, like I watched like spoiler reviews for the comic books, and it was more exciting about the comic book character than the actual movie character.
Yeah.
I don't know. Other than that, I wasn't excited for anything else.
Well, it's I think it could still be. I think it could be. I think this might be. It's a good way to end the year too. This is like the last movie, and this is a week after Spider-Man, so it's going to be a packed end of.
Spider-Man.
It's going to be a packed end of the year this year. So.